Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about physical versus online versions of games, and I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear I'm all for getting the physical copies, but there are problems that come with that in the current era of gaming. But before we begin, if you're new here and you like what you hear, then at the end of the video you should consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. Of course, only if you enjoy the video, but for now, let's jump in. After reading a recent article on Gizmodo, I was forced to actually think about the dangers of online games and the way that the gaming world used to work, okay? Consoles like the NES, the Super Nintendo, and the PlayStation, they have one thing in common. Actually, all the consoles in the pre-internet era have this one thing in common. Games were released in full. That means no extra downloads, no DLC, just a fully worked on game. And sure, I know that there were glitches here and there, bugs that needed to be fixed, but we didn't need to wait for those things to be worked out, okay? The games, for the most part, worked. They worked well enough for you to play through them and actually enjoy the entire thing. Sometimes, of course, look, there were games that were complete and utter train wrecks, but for the most part, the games worked, okay? They worked well. And like I said, you didn't need to wait once you got the game for some crazy huge download to take place just to be able to actually play the game in the very beginning for the first time. Your console didn't need some sort of an update and a restart. It didn't need the game to install. And look, that is probably the one thing that I am actually, I understand why that happens, okay? The installation makes the game run faster and smoother on the console. That's actually smart. That I can handle. What concerns me though is all the people who purchase online games, be it on your mobile phone or the console. That's a very big concern for me. And look, I'm not going to start with this ridiculous notion that people spend, for some weird reason, the same amount on a digital copy of a game as those who purchase the physical copy in store or have it delivered to them. It literally makes no sense. So we're not going to talk about that. However, what we should talk about is the fact that companies can take their games off the online shop whenever they want as per whatever agreement you may have agreed to without even realizing you agreed to it. If a license is up and they cannot renew it, then unless you've already downloaded the game and saved it somewhere, say goodbye. That's how it works these days, by the way. Just remember that. Any cash you've spent on that game, any DLC you purchased, anything ridiculous that you can think of, unless you found a way to back it up, it's all just gone. This is an issue that I have with these games. Then think about those brand new games that you've bought as physical copies. Because remember I said that the physical copies are not safe either in the current era of gaming. You know, when you put your game in the console and it starts that gigantic download? Yeah, if in 20 or 30 years you want to put that game in your console and play it, you're going to have some very serious issues. Of course, they're most likely only possible issues at the present time, but still. That's the scary thing about the internet age. If you want to download something that's no longer up for downloading, like the DLC that you may have purchased 20 or 30 years ago, how do we preserve that? How do we preserve those games that we hold near and dear to us, especially with the required DLC that you probably paid for? Do we turn to the illegal black market ROMs, which we've already seen Nintendo wage war on, by the way, or do we just accept that either these companies will need to re-release complete editions on later consoles for us to enjoy again at a price? I really don't know what the answer to this question is, to be honest with you, but if you want to play complete games from a time when polygons were all the rage, or 16-bit technology was absolutely killing the game, then you might need to turn back time and get yourself a possibly very expensive old-school console. But look, this is all from me for today. I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you liked this video, then consider subscribing and hit that thumbs up channel. Also, let me know what your thoughts are below on this whole topic. What's going to happen with gaming in the future? Where do you think that it could go? Are we basically required to settle for the tragic fate of having to either purchase released games or stealing them illegally from the internet somewhere? Or is there hope for the gaming world? Anyways, guys, until next time, spread some peace, spread some love, go outside and make sure that you make someone laugh today. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.